Alright, so what I'm going to quickly do is just give you a super simple, easy demo on how to make a graph if you are doing the 3-star activity. So by the time you're done, you'll have something that will look very similar to this, and it's the easiest thing in the world. Yeah, here we go. So first thing that I've done is I have in my A column, I've listed all the events that we need to cover on the graph. So Hitler's elected as Chancellor, Hitler becomes the President of Germany, and so on and so forth, all the way down to 1942, the final solution is implemented. So I've just written them all in column A. The only reason they're sort of spaced out like that is because I've just dragged it over so to make sure that I have correct spelling, etc. I should probably write first ghetto is established just to make it more accurate to what you guys are doing. Now, the next thing that I've done is I've tried to work out a scale on how I'm going to represent happiness. So just for my own little personal understanding, I've put 8 as happy, 4 as meh, indifferent to it, and 0 is like gutted, absolutely devastated. You could do your own scale, but the bigger the scale is, the more obvious the drops will be, which I suppose is the real key that you want. Now, I've then gone and assigned each one of these events with a number based on this scale. So obviously Hitler's been elected as Chancellor. This is 1933. So they're not going to be like happy at all. They're probably just going to be like, because we already know that a whole bunch of things have happened up until then. And then we obviously know the final solution is the point where everyone was being mass deported off to different concentration and death camps. And so, which is why I've done that as point 1. All right. So first thing you're then going to do is you're going to click a random square and you're going to go insert and you're going to go straight to this button here, which is a line graph. And you're just going to click it like that. Now you're going to get this blank box and you just want to move it so you can still see all your data. And then you're going to right click and you're going to go select data. And you're going to get a screen that looks a lot like this little pop-up box. Now first thing you're going to do is you're going to go add. You're going to change the name because we're about to label this axis. So essentially this is the Jewish emotional state, isn't it? So we're just going to write that there. Then where it says values, we're going to backspace that information and we're going to use these values here. So it's going to be as simple as clicking and dragging my mouse down. And then I'm literally going to press OK. And see how I've got this sort of graph that sort of dumps really quickly? That's exactly what I'm looking for. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, oops, not that one. I'm going to right click it again and I'm going to go select data. And I'm actually going to go horizontal category. So we obviously don't want these to be numbers along the bottom. We want these, sorry guys, this x-axis to actually have these values here. So I'm going to do the exact same process. I'm going to click and I'm just going to drag down. And again, I'm just going to press OK. All right. And what we have here is a whole list of events that are banked down as such. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to right click this guy here and we're going to go, where are we? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change this value here so that our scale is much higher because obviously we used 8 as happy and if at the moment it looks like 4 is the peak of happiness, so we want to change that. So we're going to click this data so it's highlighted and then we're just going to double click it. And over here where it says maximum, we're going to change it to 4.5 and we're going to go to 8. I mean, you could even do 10. It actually really doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you how you go about it. And we are also going to leave that as it is. And then you just click out of it. All right. And it's essentially that simple. So I suppose the next thing that you need to do now is to start playing around with what you want your graph to look like. So you know that you need to include your label axes, you need to include a key, you also need to identify what type of hurt this is, whether it's cultural, emotional, or financial, and by doing that you just click on these guys, you go home, and you quite literally just select the colour of whatever you want your little dot to be. But I suppose to really highlight what it is, you're just going to have to change the style. And you can do that by clicking any number of these. it really doesn't actually matter as long as you've got something there to click on. So if you have any further questions, holler at me, but now it's just going to be a matter of problem solving and making sure that your graph meets all the graphing needs. But just so you know, there's a button on the left and it's add chart element, and you can add your axis titles, you can remove the grid lines, you can do all those types of things, and it's just a matter of making, I suppose, playing with it to make sure that it is the easiest read as possible.